Check this out. In the next video, you're going to meet a super brave pit bull terrier who's just soaking up the sun on a beautiful day outside. Sounds relaxing, right? But then, out of nowhere, he runs into a huge problem that'll have your heart racing. Can you imagine? A massive snake has wrapped itself around his neck trying to strangle him. It's honestly a heart-stopping moment that'll keep you on the edge of your seat, wondering how this courageous pup will handle such a terrifying encounter. You really won't want to miss how he reacts and fights back against this unexpected danger. It's a wild ride. Check this out. In the next video, you're going to meet a super brave pit bull terrier who's just soaking up the sun on a beautiful day outside. Sounds relaxing, right? But then, out of nowhere, he runs into a huge problem that'll have your heart racing. Can you imagine? A massive snake has wrapped itself around his neck trying to strangle him. It's honestly a heart-stopping moment that'll keep you on the edge of your seat, wondering how this courageous pup will handle such a terrifying encounter. You really won't want to miss how he reacts and fights back against this unexpected danger. It's a wild ride. So, welcome back, everyone. Today, we've got another emotional video that dives into the incredible bond between dogs and their owners. It's moments like these that really show how important it is to look out for our furry friends. Trust me, you don't want to miss this one. Make sure to stick around and watch the whole thing. Check this out. In the next video, you're going to meet a super brave pit bull terrier who's just soaking up the sun on a beautiful day outside. Sounds relaxing, right? But then, out of nowhere, he runs into a huge problem that'll have your heart racing. Can you imagine? A massive snake has wrapped itself around his neck trying to strangle him. It's honestly a heart-stopping moment that'll keep you on the edge of your seat, wondering how this courageous pup will handle such a terrifying encounter. You really won't want to miss how he reacts and fights back against this unexpected danger. It's a wild ride. Take this next video, for instance. It features a brave pit bull terrier just enjoying a sunny day outside when, out of nowhere, he runs into a huge problem. Can you believe it? A massive snake had wrapped itself around his neck trying to strangle him. It's a heart-stopping moment that'll have you on the edge of your seat. You'll want to see how this dog handles such a terrifying encounter. The snake had clearly wrapped its coils very tightly around the dog's neck. It was also big enough to wrap them around his body. The snake had actually squeezed its body against the dog's windpipe, meaning that the dog couldn't breathe. It also meant that the dog couldn't bark or call out for help. That's why no one realized how much danger he was in. No one came to help at first, but thankfully that soon changed. The dog was being held by the snake in a forest in Brazil. Suddenly, a man appeared who started making a lot of noise. That distracted the snake momentarily, allowing the dog to get a breath of fresh air. Then, two other men arrived who began hacking away at the snake with machetes. The men cut at the snake until it finally fell to the ground, at which point they began helping the dog. They tried to clear away the branches and leaves that had become stuck in the dog's fur. But to do that properly, they first needed to get rid of the snake. We can see in these close-up shots just how tight the coils were around the dog's body. It really looks as though it'll be impossible for the dog to get away. But these brave men didn't give up. They knew that the dog's life was at stake, so they continued doing everything they could to help him. The owner of the dog also arrived and began helping to remove the branches that were stuck in the dog's fur. But they all knew that the most important thing was to check the dog's breathing. That's why they carefully parted the dog's fur and started brushing it down. They wanted to see if the dog's windpipe was still intact. They were worried that the snake may have caused some damage while it had the dog in its grasp. After a while, the men heard the dog make a noise. He let out a small whine, which gave them a lot of hope. It meant that the dog was still alive. Then the dog's owner began giving him water and telling him to calm down. At first, the dog drank the water very greedily. He was probably thirsty from all the commotion. But as the video goes on, we can see that the dog begins to calm down. The dog is slowly regaining his strength after the traumatic ordeal. He'd been strangled by the snake for quite some time, so he was understandably pretty tired. But thanks to the quick reactions of those men, he was able to survive. The men who helped the dog out were true heroes. They didn't think twice when they saw that the dog needed help. Instead, they jumped into action right away and saved the dog's life. They didn't even ask for the dog's owner to pay them for what they did. They were simply happy that they'd been able to help. You can really see how much the owner appreciates what they did. He's hugging one of the men at the end of the video as a way of saying, "Thank you." It must have been terrifying for the dog. Imagine being walked by your owner one minute and then suddenly being attacked by a huge snake the next. You'd probably be scared out of your wits. But the dog stayed strong, and with the help of his owner and those kind strangers, he was able to survive. After the incident, the dog's owner took him home and made sure that he was okay. He probably checked on the dog for days afterward to make sure that his health hadn't been affected in any way. It's unknown what breed of snake it was that attacked the dog. There are so many different types of snakes in the world, but thankfully, not all of them are venomous. However, this particular snake was clearly big enough to kill the dog, even if it wasn't venomous. Snakes usually only attack if they feel threatened, so it's likely that the snake felt cornered. That's why it lashed out at the dog. But of course, that doesn't excuse what it did. The dog was clearly in a lot of pain, and the snake should have stopped the attack once it realized that. Some people might not have been so quick to help the dog. They might have thought that since it was a pit bull, it deserved whatever it was going through. But these people weren't like that. They showed kindness and compassion toward an animal in need, which makes them true heroes in my eyes. Pit bulls get a bad reputation sometimes, but they're actually very gentle and loving creatures. They just need to be socialized properly. Otherwise, they can grow up to be aggressive. The pit bull in this video is a great example of a well-socialized pit bull. He's clearly very friendly and is able to stay calm in most situations. That's why he was able to survive the snake attack. He didn't panic or try to fight the snake, which would have made things worse. Instead, he stayed as still as possible and waited for help to arrive. Even though this dog is a pit bull, I don't think that its breed had anything to do with the situation it was in. The snake probably wouldn't have attacked a Chihuahua or a German Shepherd any less than it attacked the pit bull. It simply came across a dog and decided to attack it for whatever reason. Some people might say that the dog got what was coming to it, but I don't think that's fair. Dogs can't help it if they're attacked by snakes. All they can do is try to defend themselves as best as they can. In this case, the dog didn't stand a chance against the snake, but luckily it was in the right place at the right time. It was close enough to the men who were able to save its life. If it had been further away, then things could have ended very differently. I think we can all learn something from the dog in this video. No matter what trouble you're in, always stay calm and wait for help to arrive. That's what the dog did, and it paid off in the end. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to stay tuned for more updates. Thanks for watching. See you next time.